Welcome everyone to Australia Property Unmasked channel. I am Jeff.
If you are interested in Australian immigration, buying property and lifestyle,
make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.
I have gathered and revealed to everyone the evil tricks of Australian real estate agents when selling houses, covering a very wide range, including agents for buying houses, selling houses, and land development. For each, I have some real examples and experiences to analyze with you. As a newcomer to buying property in Australia, how can you protect yourself as a first-time buyer? I indeed told everyone about the techniques, strategies, methods, and approaches that selling agents can use to manipulate people into buying a property. This property was for a young person from another state, which I helped turn around in Brisbane.
Here we are. Today I'm going to help my friend to do the pre-settlement inspection.
My client is a buyer from another state who has been planning to move to Brisbane for a long time. They wanted to find a relatively large house and had other requirements as well. So let me tell everyone again, let's go take a look together at what was just sold. Based on the specific requirements and needs of the three main areas, because they will be sharing the house with a few friends, they hope that besides having enough rooms, the house will also have ample living space for future use and accommodate their lifestyle. When the space is divided among friends, everyone will have some living space without disturbing each other. Individually, we are looking for a dining room and a TV room, which will have two separate spaces inside. On one side, it will be suitable for some general activities, and on the other side, it will be suitable for things like electronics. Additionally, there is a space that has been incorporated into the middle, still in position. Although that house was built as a forecast 3 or 4 decades ago, there's also a clause for the buyer. So regarding the overall condition, I need to look at a building inspection report to identify any potential issues. So you can see that the overall maintenance, although still quite good, has been done very well. Then there will be a very large, spacious and elegant dining room, as it fits well into its own plan, which is designed to accommodate many guests comfortably. So here it clearly indicates that I have one of the largest dining rooms where everyone can gather, read together, socialize, eat and drink, which is appropriate. For me, a young person, it's finally time to have similar and like-minded friends, live in a recreational vehicle, and travel around and explore the vast and adventurous Australia. So I want to find a property with a larger indoor area and land size. This way, there will be more space to park and shoot, allowing more room to unleash their imagination and also to place different instruments and tools. When I found this absolutely perfect house for them, they were instantly and wholeheartedly taken with it on their very first visit. But the reason wasn't just because of the house itself. There was something else in front of this beautiful house that was incredibly appealing to them. So let's take everyone over to the entrance area now and walk inside together, leading us all towards the back part of this wonderful home.
Because this plot of land is quite large. Indeed, there is about 750 square meters, or perhaps even 800 square meters. Next to his house, actually at the back, there's a beautifully and thoughtfully arranged shed that they've set up.
I really like it too, and it's incredibly spacious and versatile. It can be used for a wide variety of different purposes, like setting up a versatile workspace, or even for storing caravans, boats, or anything else he wants to put there. So let's take everyone inside and explore in detail and see firsthand how this exciting space can be utilized. Join me in a moment as we take a leisurely stroll into this studio. The creation of this studio was indeed quite an achievement considering all involved parties. You can completely transform this space into another world entirely. I estimate that the previous owners used this spacious area for woodworking and repairs, since it was equipped with various tools and utilities like water and electricity connections. This versatile space offers many possibilities to explore further. It also has 2 large garage doors, which can be utilized effectively effectively to turn it either into a parking area or perhaps even serve as storage for something larger like storing your caravan or van.
As a buyer agent myself, I understand the client personality, and I knew that he comes from another state. He wanted a large piece of land, ideally with unique character or standout features. When I saw this house, I noticed the land was very large and could potentially be subdivided. And there's already a shed or workstation ready to use.
I felt that this house was perfect for him to come and enjoy the lifestyle he deserves. I have a young guest who is creative and has a richer experience than I do. After he acquired the property, they actually submitted an application to convert a covered storage room into another entertainment room. This house, I helped my client find it. The first time he saw the video I sent him, he was absolutely thrilled and delighted by it, so we immediately contacted the seller's agent to prepare an offer.
However, at that particular moment in time, the seller's agent got back to us and said, unfortunately for us, that the seller had already accepted another offer and had signed on the dotted line of the contract. So unfortunately, that meant we couldn't move forward with purchasing this property.
But then the situation took a 180-degree turn the very next day. The next morning, he directly sent a text message to me and my client, telling my client that they were really lucky. The previous seller suddenly experienced a serious health issue, so they were forced to cancel the contract. He then asked my client if they were interested in further continuing to purchase the property. One of the most very cunning aspects of this seller's agent was that indeed initially, when making offers, all communication and contact were certainly and absolutely all conducted through me. However, the next day, this text message was sent directly to my client.
Without any delay or hesitation, I instructed my client to reply with a message stating that all negotiations regarding this transaction must go through their buyer's agent, not directly with the seller's agent.
I also promptly called the seller's agent and made it very clearly and explicitly clear, in no uncertain terms whatsoever, that if they bypassed our company to contact our client directly again, no matter how cheap their house was, we would immediately terminate the negotiations. As an experienced buyer's agent, I didn't believe a single word in his text message. On the contrary, I was more inclined to believe that his initial rejection of our offer was a strategy to raise the price. This tactic, retreating in order to advance, makes many novice sellers feel like they've regained something they almost lost. It's a common strategy used by many seller agents to sell properties with the underlying goal of raising the property's selling price. This is especially true for standalone houses in Australia, where each house is very different, making it difficult to accurately estimate its market value. As a result, many novice buyers can easily fall into the trap and end up overpaying by tens of thousands of Australian dollars. Last year, there was a client who bought a piece of land on Brisbane Road, and then he asked a builder to draw up plans and provide a quote. However, before signing the construction contract, he paid a consultation fee and asked me to help review his plans, listen to the contract, and take a look at his land. This client bought land in an old district, about 4 parts. The land is about 500 square meters. A builder drafted plans and provided a quote, preparing to build a 3-story house with a double garage. And if you look at this land division on the Google Maps application, each plot is only connected by a driveway about approximately 2 meters in width, which is at least 1/3 to even more than double narrower compared to their neighbors. And on the Brisbane City Council website, it is also stated that for land over 450 square meters, the driveway for a double garage can be automatically widened to 5 meters without needing further approval from the council. This was also the information that my client was told by the construction company agent, so before consulting me, he was under the impression that his single driveway could be converted into a 5-meter wide double driveway. However, I reviewed the plans and checked the site. We discovered the issue was not as straightforward as the construction company had suggested. It wasn't simply a matter of expanding at will. So my client paid some consultation fees for me to help him take a look. He is about to purchase this piece of land, which is located in a peaceful area, and he wants to build a spacious and modern house on it. When he showed me the detailed architectural plans from his previous builder, the original position was intended for a double driveway. This was because it originally only had a single driveway, and he wanted to expand it to the other side to accommodate more vehicles and provide easier access. But when we went to conduct an on-site investigation with him, we discovered that at this location, if you look here, there is actually what we call a peach, where a water channel runs through. So when we apply for approval, there is indeed a very high likelihood that, unfortunately, his original plan to expand the driveway here cannot be executed. The agent who helped him with the building plans never mentioned that there was such an issue here. The biggest issue is that if he doesn't broaden and extend on that side and instead wants to broaden and extend on this side, he might encounter another problem. This is because, as you can see here, when he originally applied for the DA with the government, his driveway was only reserved as a single-lane driveway. So if he wants to widen the driveway on this side, it is elevated with a grading of about 1/2 meter. This requires the opinion of a town planner and a control engineer to determine if it is possible to officially expand this single lane into a double lane. Additionally, further details and considerations must be taken into account. I am now next to his plot of land, and today there is also a newly built house here. In this house, you will see that it can be extended to the driveway. But the main issue is that there is no S-plan or any infrastructure underneath here, which is why he can extend it. But the biggest problem we saw during the on-site inspection is that there is a pit and a drainage cover, which is very likely to be rejected by the government, making it unnecessary to build a driveway there. If it's just a single driveway, basically, if you have a double garage in this position, it will be very difficult for your car to access and park in both spaces. After taking on this client, I did a lot of homework and research. I went to the municipal council's website and found the original approved plans. Now, you can see that the approved driveway is only 2.5 meters wide. The red circular area marks the stormwater drain access, and the oval area in front indicates some infrastructure belonging to the telecommunications company Telstra. So no matter how you apply in any way, it's possible to expand the width of the 2.5 meter driveway slightly towards the right-hand side. Another issue is that, as you can see on both sides of the existing driveway, the areas marked by black dashed lines are actually retaining walls. So if you don't widen the driveway, your car must enter and exit at a 90-degree angle to avoid scratching it, meaning your driving skills must be exceptionally good. And if you build a double garage in the space on the right-hand side, it can be said that it is undoubtedly not deep enough for a car to park inside the space. Definitely. If the city council approves and you expand 5 meters to the left side, the middle of the house will be entirely occupied by the garage. This will make the layout of the entire ground floor living and dining area appear very strange, and it will greatly affect the property's value when it is sold in the future. In this case, you could say that going left is a dead end and going right is also a dead end. One can only sigh that the client was too reckless when purchasing the land. How to solve it? I would use the idiom leading someone into a trap to describe many real estate agents of developers, because those sales agents, due to their experience, cannot possibly know the flaws of every piece of land. Just by visiting the site, they would immediately know. But in many cases, these salespeople from construction companies focus on catering to the client's preferences. They will help with building plans that may never receive municipal approval. Their sole purpose is to quickly provide a quote and then hope the client signs the contract and pays a 5% deposit as soon as possible. However, once the client is caught with the 5% deposit, they will then pass the package to the municipal or city council, which will not approve the plans. This forces the client to modify the plans. But once the plans are modified, the pricing contract you previously signed is no longer valid. Let's take a look at this client's contract in detail. You will see that this so-called fixed price contract is basically composed of 20 to 30 various allowances. Allowance means that even after signing the contract, the developer can, in fact, increase the price for each specific item one by one. They can keep increasing it as they go along. Even if the total contract price you sign now is $964,000, I absolutely believe that after all the allowance increases, the construction cost of this house will increase by at least 200,000 Australian dollars. In this case, the silver lining is that fortunately, the client sought professional advice from me before signing the construction contract. I pointed out a significant flaw on his land, so at least now, before paying the 5% deposit, he can decisively choose not to build and resell the land. But the next buyer who takes over will be in trouble.
Jeff's analysis is truly spot on, honest, and genuinely professional.
If you are buying property in Australia and seeking assistance, you must be cautious of the seller agent's exaggerated sales experience. When a seller agent helps clients sell properties, they often need to advertise through the two major real estate websites. Therefore, the sale of a unit by a seller agent can be verified through the public information on these two major real estate websites. However, as a buyer agent, BAS agents do not have this public record. Especially now with the explosion of information online, I've noticed that many real estate agents or KOLs just use some video recordings and then claim to be professional buyer agents. But when I watch their videos, I realized that their content is mostly presented in the form of PowerPoint, and what they talk about is extremely vague. From my experience, as soon as I watch these videos, I can tell that this KOL or agent has never had any experience helping clients with buying or selling second-hand properties. I especially want to mention, I would like to specifically mention the audience from Melbourne. In the past, I have received numerous inquiries and assistance from Melbourne viewers asking if I could help them buy some second-hand properties in Melbourne. However, I never take on any buyer's agent cases outside of Brisbane or the Gold Coast or across states. Although I can't help you find a property in Melbourne, I also don't want to see my audience and loyal viewers being deceived in any way by dishonest agents. If viewers have doubts about the buyer's agent that you want to find, remember to ask the agent to provide some evidence. This includes past transactions they facilitated, some email correspondences, and most importantly, the contact information of the seller agent, so you can conduct some verification. For example, the email you see above is from February 8th, when I just helped a client purchase a second-hand investment property at an auction. Typically, providing buyer agent services involves a lot of such evidence to prove that I facilitated this transaction for the client. Of course, fraudulent agents will always have many excuses, such as claiming that a lot of personal information cannot be disclosed, so they cannot provide these emails. However, you just need to ask them to redact that personal information, use the email as a record, and send it to the other agent for verification and reference checks, which is quite a normal practice in the Australian real estate industry. I have interviewed many selling agents from cases where I helped clients find second-hand properties. On one hand, this allows viewers to better understand the latest perspectives and information on the property market in Australia or Brisbane at the time. On the other hand, conducting these interviews serves as the best proof of my credentials as a buyer agent. If I hadn't genuinely worked with these second-hand agents and facilitated many transactions together, these local agents would absolutely not be willing to appear on camera with me for interviews.